to the Tough Cover Podcast. Today on Saturday, May 15th, I am your host, Mark Henry Jr., and you can follow me on Twitter, like you see in the description right there, at Mark Henry Jr. _ and you can follow the podcast at Tough Cover Pod, and you can follow the Painted Lines at The Painted Lines. And please, please, please subscribe wherever you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch to the Painted Lines. On today's show, we are going to run through my picks for the day at rapid fire so I can get this out to you guys as soon as possible because there's some crazy line movement going on. And before I go, help coach some baseball. So we went 3-0 last night on straight bets. We missed our parlay by one pick, but it was yet another positive day here on the Tough Cover Podcast at plus 3.5 units. We went 3-0 on straight bets, and real quick, we'll run through what those were. We had the Winnipeg Jets, so that means my Mlb Picks are 4-0 on the season. In the last week, I went 4-0 on hockey. I plan to do a little bit more hockey going forward, but there's no hockey on the board that entices me tonight. I'm going to take a look at it tomorrow. So I have my two other picks from last night were the San Diego Padres over 3.5, which was my best bet. They scored 5 runs. That cashed. And the Oakland A's money line over the Twins, which cashed at 6-1 final. And before we get to my picks real quick, congratulations to the Philadelphia 76ers and any 76ers fans watching, any process trusters like myself. It was just amazing that 8 years to the day of when Sam Hinkie got hired, we clinched that 1 seed. That was just fantastic. So everyone out there, enjoy that. Stick that in the haters' faces, those people in your life who didn't believe in the process. Stick it in their face. We're the 1 seed, and we're going all the way. I don't know how far, but we're going a long way in the playoffs. We're going deep. So I'm happy to be along for the ride, and I'm happy that we locked up that 1 seed. But shifting gears, let's get back to gambling. Let's get to my picks for the night. And let me just say, I don't often say this, I love the board tonight. I think there is money to be made on the board tonight. I think it's an excellent slate. So let's get to it. I've got 4 MLB picks, 1 NBA pick. Most of these picks are at 7-10, so a lot of them are going to be concurrent. But at 4:05, I have the Oakland A's plus 125 on the or plus 128 on the money line at the Minnesota Twins for 2.5 units. This will be a nationally televised game on Fox Sports 1, so everyone can watch. This is my 4th straight day betting on the Oakland A's. The Twins are 6-12 at home, while the A's are 11-5 on the road. I've always been a bit of a Jose Barrios skeptic. Barrios has been pretty damn good to start this year, and the Twins are still 3-4 in games he starts. So that's not great, even though he's been fantastic. And I expect a bit of regression in terms of his performance if you look at his underlying numbers. And if you look at the A's past with Barrios, the A's bat 286 and 89 plate appearances against him. The Twins don't have a ton of experience against Cole Irvin, who has been very up and down, but has been pretty good against teams he hasn't faced yet. So I expect that to be a positive for this matchup. The Twins will miss their star so far this year, Byron Buxton, who is out with an injury, and come in losing 5 straight and only winning 2 of their last 11. I expect this number to move to 6 straight losses and 2 of their last 12 losses. So going with the A's here because I think they're the better team, and I think Barrios is overrated and due for a bad start against a team who's had success against him. So another matchup here in the MLB at 7-10. Texas Rangers plus 1.5 at the Houston Astros for 2 units. Moving down to Texas for some baseball in an interstate AL West matchup here. The Rangers are unfortunately squandering Dane Dunning's hot start to the season with a 2-5 record in games he starts, despite his 3.78 ERA. However, in those 5 losses, 3 of which were only by 1 run, and he only received a loss for 2 of those 5. This is part of the reason I like the Rangers plus 1.5 today, but also the Astros, the main reason, or I'll get to the main reason, which is on the other side of the bump. But the Astros have started this 4-game series right with 2 wins. I expect some fight from the Rangers here to get back on track. The Rangers are 18-22, and in those 22 losses, 7 of which are only by 1 run. And they are 22-17 on the run line with a 20-14 record on the run line as an underdog. But the main reason, like I said, I love this bet is on the other side, and it's with Luis Garcia, the starting pitcher for the Astros. The Astros are 0-5 in games Luis Garcia starts and 0-7 in games that he appears in at all. This is an insane number for a team with a 22-17 record. This means They are 22-10 in games that Luis Garcia does not appear in, and 0-7 in games he does. As the kids say, sheesh. So let's get to another pick here at 7-10 that's really riding on trends. White Sox minus 1.5 versus the Royals for 3 units. This is a simple one. If the White Sox are facing a lefty, you find a way to bet them. I don't often bet minus 1.5, but the White Sox are 7-1 against lefties this year, batting .301, but they're also 22-1 against lefties in their last 23 games against left-handed pitching, dating back to last year. Also, the Chicago White Sox are first in OPS versus left-handed pitching over this last 2 weeks. So not only do the White Sox have the advantage here because of how they hit lefties with Mike Minor on the mound, but they also have one of the best stories in baseball going on the mound with former top prospect Carlos Rodon, who is finally having his breakout season at age 28, and even with a just missed perfect game that became a no-hitter, has been as perfect as one could possibly expect throughout this year. 5 starts, 5 wins, 5 decisions for Carlos Rodon. If he continues this, he's going to have to enter Cy Young conversation with his .58 ERA in 31 innings with 44 Ks. 3 of his 5 outings have been shutouts. His average start so far this year is 7 innings, 2.5 hits, .4 runs, 2 walks, and 9 Ks. That's insane numbers. The White Sox are 14-7 against the AL Central and have the 3rd best batting average in baseball overall. The White Sox are 8-2 in their last 10, batting .272, while the Royals are 1-9, batting .212 in their last 10, and 1-12 in their last 13. These teams are trending in different directions, and I expect that to continue today. In summary, it's pretty simple. If the White Sox have a game against a lefty, they seem to win. If the White Sox start Carlos Rodon, they seem to win. So I'm comfortable laying that 1.5 in part because the White Sox made 23-14 on the run line and are 18-11 on the run line as a favorite. So, we got a comment from Josh here, my guy. Everyone go give him a follow at Josh Karaskikis on Twitter. And he said, White Sox versus lefties. Yeah, it's been an absolute godsend so far to start the season, and even dating back to last season. But that was almost my best bet. I don't know if I've given out the units. I'll give them out at the end when I recap my picks. But this is my best bet, and it's a 4-unit play at 7-10. I'm going with the Atlanta Braves at the Milwaukee Brewers for 4 units, minus 110. Fun fact, there are 3 Andersons starting pitching on the board tonight in the MLB with Tyler for San Francisco. And the Braves are 5-2 in games that Ian Anderson has started, and one of the losses was a 2-1 loss to the Phillies to start out the year. I personally think that Ian Anderson is the Braves' best starter, or at least their starter with the best stuff, and I think he will be their ace over Soroka and Fried for years to come. I've been betting on Ian Anderson for the last 2 years, and it has served me well, with the Braves having a 12-6 record in games he started in his career, including the postseason. Brett Anderson had a hot start to the year with 3 great starts, but he then couldn't make it out of the first inning due to struggles with an injury. And in his first game back on May 9th, he only made it 3 innings, even though he didn't give up many runs. So they're clearly being careful with him. I don't expect Brett Anderson to go very deep into this game, but I always expect Ian Anderson to go pretty deep into games. Beyond the pitching matchup, the hitting advantage here very clearly goes to the Atlanta Braves, who lead Major League Baseball in home runs. The Brewers are 3-10 in their last 13 games, and the Braves come in winning 6 of their last 10. Again, these teams are trending in different directions. While the Braves have not hit the cover off the ball as of late or against Brett Anderson, the Brewers have no experience against Ian Anderson, something I always look at as a positive with young pitchers. So my best bet, the Atlanta Braves minus 110 for 4 units over the Milwaukee Brewers, with Ian Anderson beating Brett Anderson. So let's get to my only NBA pick of the night at 8 o'clock. I have over 231 Bucks Heat for 3 units. This spread has moved from Milwaukee minus 4 to Miami minus 5 with no real injury news, so keep tabs on that one. So that could affect the over. Before last Miami game, a blowout over the Sixers, which obviously in blowouts, overs are not going to be as profitable. Before that game went under, 11 straight Miami Heat games had gone over. Milwaukee, on the other side, has hit 4 of their last 5 overs. These teams are both positive on the year with the over record, with Miami at 37 and 33 and Milwaukee at 40 and 30. Milwaukee has scored 135 plus points in 4 of the last 5 games, which is just absolutely outrageous. Before last game, Miami had scored 121 plus in 3 straight games. These are 2 top 5 offenses as of late in offensive rating, which bodes well for the over. And another thing that bodes well for the over, I still expect this to be a close game and close games drive overs. So I expect this one to be very, very high scoring with both teams in the 120. So let me do a quick recap. At 4:05, I have the Oakland A's plus 128 over the Twins for 2.5 units. At 7:10, I have the Texas Rangers plus 1.5 over the Houston Astros for 2 units. At 7:10, I also have the Chicago White Sox minus 1.5 over the Kansas City Royals for 3 units. At 7:10, I have the Atlanta Braves minus 110 over the Milwaukee Brewers for 4 units. And then at 8 o'clock, I have the over 231 in Milwaukee Bucks versus the Miami Heat for 3 units. I'll tweet that out. Everyone go follow me at Mark Henry Jr. _ Go follow me on Twitter at ToughCoverPod and follow The Painted Lines on Twitter at The Painted Lines and subscribe wherever you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch. And thank you for joining us as a part of the Tough Cover Click and enjoy the winners.